I give you a hug?
Yes, yes.
You don't think state of change anything?
Well,
The creation of the state.
Look, we've lived two generations
Yeah.
of time propaganda. People saying that this person's human, this person's human. Both sides are trying to blame the other.
Yes.
So we don't have. I mean, first of all, it's forbidden for a believer to believe the internet, for an unbeliever to give news and reports of what's going on. So what we really need are proper religious courts to investigate what's really going on, because we don't have any credible source to really. So I'm going to leave that aside to the politicians who can deal with that. But what I do know is that the idea of looking at, if you can see another Jew.
Sorry, do you say when these are taking place in Israel that we need someone to go and physically have a look at what's happening, or
I believe you need God-fearing. We need God-feering judges to collect evidence.
But the initial point I was making was that things went bitter between the. I mean, when I say, I don't mean to be sarcastic, but when I say people who claim to be Jewish, who are committing. The Palestinians, things went bitter when those people.
I walk around in Ramallah. I walk around in Nablus.
Right.
I have
the Jews have walked.
No
the Jews have walked these streets for over 1,000 years. There was no problem
today, and I don't going on all the time.
Right.
It is what's portrayed in the media. You know, I'm
You don't-
walking around there is not accurate, and I won't.
You don't
go
think
into
that
what is
the
accurate,
state is actually
but I
Palestinians?
didn't
You
say
don't
that
think so?
I did. What I said is it's not accurate.
That's-
I don't have
They
the
are
information. I don't have
you
the
say
information.
you walk them streets.
Yes.
Do you not see houses? Do you not
No.
see Palestinians getting their houses?
No.
Do you not see? You don't see none
So
of
you've
that.
never heard about being from the sky
There's a war
and
going
white
on.
being dropped on.
There is a resistance.
Yeah.
There is one group of people who feel that they are entitled to live there, and there's another group of people who feel that they're not entitled to live there, and they're fighting. And a lot of bad things happen when people fight.
Of course, but do you think there is proportionally they're equal? Do you think they're?
I can't. I'm not a politician. I'm not a reporter. I can't
I
answer that
understand.
question.
I understand.
Rabbi,
But I do say there is a going on. There is a
Rabbi,
fight
we're
going
asking
on.
you these questions
Yes.
because you have said you walk them streets.
Yes,
I think you just come back yesterday.
No,
Okay,
I'm
but-
saying the Jews have walked those streets for over
Yeah,
1,000
what
years.
I'm saying is this
And
can happen.
Muslims allowed the Jewish people to exist
What
there.
I'm saying
Yeah.
is this can happen in the future too.
Yeah.
But what has to happen
Yeah.
is we have to respect each other.
Of course.
Absolutely. You have to. I have to
Rabbi,
believe you're a
how do you
believer.
respect each other
and
when one force going to people's houses and
how much have you read about the West in the news? And the West talks about Muslims, and they make up stories.
I agree with you.
No, we have seen
I agree
footage.
with you.
We're talking about original
actual
footage.
which we
there's
can
all
show
sorts of
now.
Where the soldiers are children up
I
and
don't want to get into that. I will say.
I
do you
understand.
not think they're
No,
the
but
difference?
he doesn't want to talk about that. No problem.
We've
Yeah.
got very
Yeah.
limited time.
Yeah, stay off.
Maybe about
Yeah.
about political
Okay,
issues.
okay.
One thing I can say, he sympathizes more with us because he
Alhamdulillah.
himself is fighting the same issue within.
No, he's a perfectly nice gentleman.
no,
I mean,
beautiful gentleman.
we've had a very nice discussion.
But I do.
So
I am very much against.
Yeah.
I'm very much against.
the reason why this issue came up, the reason why this issue came up,
Somebody from what they see on the internet.
because the point I was making was the Jewish people and the Muslims, the believers of Muhammad, that's what I mean by Muslims, people who believe in Muhammad as the last messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they have coexisted for over 1,000 years. The Jewish people were being around the world. Muslims took them into their arms and protected the Jewish people and gave them.
Some of them didn't. It was up and down.
Over 90% of the Jewish populations
okay,
were in the
at
Muslim
this
lands.
At this point,
Yeah.
on this point,
Yeah.
I am disagreeing with you. I do say that the
Didn't the
core of the
Palestinians
issue.
Wait,
I'm disagreeing that because of the state caused the whole problem. I'm saying it's because of a lack of respect. That's what I'm saying.
Where did this
Both
lack of
sides are
respect
not
come from?
respecting.
Suddenly,
Okay, that's
after
okay.
1,000 years of
No,
coexistence,
but
lack of respect pops
I think
into
there are
existence.
plenty of good Palestinians. There are plenty of good, and they could get along.
Yes.
And I think what we just got to do is like that guy over there who's really talking fiery, and he and I should be able to get along, hug each other, and we should really build a better world.
But you don't see that coexistence was disturbed by the creation of the state.
I don't think it's impossible
Right.
today.
Okay,
I think it's still possible.
Right.
And I think it's just a matter of wanting it.
right.
wanting what?
To coexist. Right.
I mean, yeah.
But if I come,
think what's
do you-
reported on the news,
if I come
think it's
into,
absolutely haram to judge a person based on what you see on the internet.
Okay.
It's totally these are unbelievers.
Okay.
They have no purpose in the world other than worse.
So
violence.
what about these settlements that are coming up? The land that's been taken.
Again,
He doesn't want to discuss that politics. So yeah, we understand.
Is there any
No.
reason why you don't want to
We
discuss?
need well, the reason what happened in the Constitution of Medina, you had one. It was called Ummah Wahida. You had Jews and Muslims sitting together. Why did it work? Because you had one judiciary. You had one system of justice. The Jews had their din, and Muslims had their din, but both of them came to the Prophet. It was tied under one system.
Agreed.
And that's what we need today, and what we don't have between the
But what
Palestinians.
So are you saying that system is failing? Are you saying
Absolutely failed? The UN's failed. The Palestinians have failed. All of them.
so?
failed.
Islamic system was better. The Ottomans
Well,
allowed the Jewish.
I won't say that necessarily it was better, but it definitely was on the right idea to have a single system for
Right,
both sides.
because the Jews and the Muslims are coexisting.
There's no way to
Yeah.
solve any problem if you can't. I mean, if you can't trust the guy who's walking behind you, he's not going to. If you can't trust that, what kind of peace can you have? You have to have.
So you are actually confirming that the Muslim period
Was a good period.
was a good
The
period.
Ottomans had the right idea to have a single system over everybody, and in fact,
No, it was not a single system, by the way. No.
it's a unit system.
No. The Ottoman courts were there for the Ottomans, for the Muslims.
No,
The Jewish Beth Dins were there for the Jewish people.
It was a unified system. There was recourse. You could go to the Sultan.
There was one government. There was one government, but the people in Ottoman Jerusalem lived by their own laws. For example, the Muslims had their own courts, the Jews had their Beth Dins, and the Christians had the priests to
But
govern.
they were tied together.
So this misconception that
they were tied together. All of them
by
would
the
appeal to
by the
Sultan.
political
All
by
of
the
them would
political
appeal to-
establishment called the Ottomans,
Absolutely.
right? The Ottomans.
And that's what we don't have today. If somebody
Unfortunately.
breaks a window.
So here we
where
have
are
a Jewish
gonna go?
rabbi advocating for the return of the Ottomans.
Well, I didn't say that. I said for a single judicial system. You need to have.
No, the only
You
period.
can't have justice. You can't have peace if you don't have justice,
Can't-
and you can't have justice if you don't have a single judicial
Absolutely,
system.
I agree.
And that's what we need.
I agree.
The UN has completely failed. It has completely
This is
failed.
a thought that's to be cherished. This is what Karen Armstrong. Karen Armstrong is a very good scholar. She stated in a history of Jerusalem that it were the first time these three Abrahamic faiths coexisted was under the system of Muslims. When the Muslims brought the system, when they took over the city, by the way, when Umar the Second, not Umar the Second, Umar the First, he took the city of Jerusalem from the Byzantines, Patriarch Sophronius. They actually put a clause in the treaty that you will not allow to live in Jerusalem, and it were the Muslims who brought the Jewish people back into Jerusalem, right? So this rhetoric out there, or this propaganda out there, that the Muslims are somehow Muslims want the Jewish people.
The same propaganda is that
This
the
is-
Jewish
this is
people
a lie.
hate the Muslims, that the Jewish people hate the Palestinians.
We don't believe
Israelis
it. We don't believe
out
it.
doing
We meet
target practice on
beautiful gentlemen like yourself who change our perception. Yeah.
There are plenty of good Jews. There's plenty of good Israelis. There's plenty of good Palestinians. Again, what we need is a single system, and I believe that the religious courts, if you have B'nai Noach, what we call B'nai Noach, and then you have Sharia or whatever, you have honest people who fear God, who are making judgment. And not doing it for politics, not to bring power to some other people. I mean, governments are rising and falling all the time. You need people who, it says both by Islamic tradition, Jewish tradition, that a judge has to feel that he has the sword of Allah above him all the time. If he makes a wrong judgment, he'll be completely cut to pieces. We need people like that today. We don't have that. Okay.
Rabbi,
Nice speech.
Can I give you a hug?
Yes.
Very nice meeting you. Very nice talking to you. Okay. Huh? We invite you for a dinner with us if you have time. But I can see that you have to leave yet. But it was very nice talking to you. And this is what we need: the Jewish people and the Muslims. I already have your.
Keep the
So
communication
we need to keep the communication going. We need to keep the discussion going, and we can break all these barriers. Thank you so much for talking. Thank you. Shalom.
Well done. Brilliant. Assalamu alaikum.